So this is Sheil, and I'm going to show you today how to get from this image, which I took, and I like the composition. I like some of the texture in this here duck's head, but goose's head, I guess. But I'm just not happy with the color, so I want to make it look a bit better. So I'm going to take it from that to that in this video, show you how to do it, and really show you how to bring back an image that you liked the composition, you thought it was a decent image, you get it back and you think, what a letdown. Well, this is one thing you can do with it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer. I've got it here like this. I've got two layers now, and I'm going to erase the duck's head from this top layer. So I'm going to put the opacity up on the eraser so it erases quite quickly. Turn the one layer off, and from this second layer I'm going to just quickly erase the duck. I've got the duck's head gone. With the duck's head gone, I can now control the editing of the background separately from the editing of the duck's head. If I turn the bottom layer back on, you can see the duck's head coming back. So I'm happy with that. Next thing I want to do then is I want to change the levels on that background. So Command L, and I'm going to make it a bit lighter because it kind of looks nice and pastel-y there. And that allows me to keep the contrast in the duck while changing the background dramatic. So now I've got the background light like this, and I've got the duck dark. What happens is I've got this kind of a dark halo around the duck, so I'm going to have to get rid of that by deleting a little bit more of the background so that it fits in. I'm going to take the opacity of the eraser down a bit. I'm just going to get rid of a little bit more of the background so it doesn't look like I quite have this halo. So the next thing I'm going to do now is try and bring some color into that background. I'm going to start by just increasing the saturation, which is Command U, and I'm just going to bring it up a bit. I don't want to bring it too far. Usually I'll go too far, then I'll come too far like this, and then I'll go too far the other way, just to give me a kind of a sense of how much I can do, and then I'll just pop it up a little bit like that. And I've got the saturation done. And then I'm going to change the color balance, Command B, and you can see it's got shadows, midtones, and highlights. I'm going to play first with the midtones and see the yellow in there. Looks quite nice. I'll change the. Oh, look at that. Looks like it. I'll try all three options. I kind of like that red coming in there. We'll try the highlights. That kind of purpley color coming in is nice. It looks a bit too like candy. I want to keep it natural looking, believable, but we want a little bit of subtle color coming. And then we'll look at the shadows. We'll change that. Now, having brought the color up, I can see that I've still got a bit of that halo there, so I'm going to delete some more of that. I'm a bit worried now about how much I'm going to delete, so I'm going to make a second copy of that layer, almost like an insurance policy. Now I've got that there, and I'm just going to delete a bit more of that, just a little bit. I'm going to go to color balance. I'm just going to bring in a bit of yellow in because I want to get rid of some of this dark there. Bring that in like this. We'll go into the shadows and we'll pop that a little bit more yellow. It's kind of looking green, isn't it? So there, it looks a bit better. So I quite like that. Alright, so we've got that happening. What I don't like is the color on the duck now. It's got a bit green looking, and I did like the color in this one. So I'm going to pull now. I'm going to delete a little bit more of that duck's head on this new layer. reduce the size of the brush a little bit, bring the opacity right down. Maybe the size of the brush is a bit smaller, probably about there. And then I can start erasing some of that. I'm bringing that, getting rid of that kind of greenish color that I was getting in the duck's head. So next thing I'm going to do now is do something with this background. This is a bit dull and boring, and I like these little dots here, but I'm going to want some more of those. So I'm going to kind of fake them a little bit. I'm going to get a brush that's about the right size, like this. That needs to be, yeah, it needs to be slightly bigger, not too big. Try 300. And I'm going to go down to about 4%, and I'm going to use the Alt key to give me an eyedropper on the paintbrush. I'm going to choose a color, and then I'm going to see what, if I post like that, if I just press once, I get a little dot. If I offset them a little bit, they look a bit out of focus, and the more times I press them, the lighter they get. So I'm just going to add a little bit of this into the image, just where I absolutely know I want some. I'm going to get rid of that dark there. It's important I used a hard edge brush here because soft edge brush wouldn't work. As I'm getting a bit nervous because I want to go into here, so I'm going to give myself an overlayer here that's got nothing in it except these, so that I can kind of turn them on and off and erase them later if I don't like them. I've got a bit more freedom. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I'm going to do it, and then I'll come back to you and show you what the finished thing looks like, but pretty much I'm just going to keep doing a lot of this. And okay, so I want to lighten this up a little bit up in here, and I want to lighten it up there a little bit. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to collapse the background layers together. So I'm getting rid of the duck's head and all this other stuff. I'm going to merge together. Command Shift E will put them together into one layer. Put the duck. And then what I can do is I can start using this tool here. Well, I've got burn and I've got dodge. Dodge will make things lighter. And I'm going to bring the size of that up a little bit. About here. Bring the opacity down so it doesn't make, doesn't make too much difference in one click. I want a lot of control here. And then I'm going to, maybe I was a bit too hasty on that. We'll bring it up a bit. There, that's about what I want. And I'm going to have a look at this duck's head here, see what I can do with that. That'll be the next thing I need to deal with, is this duck's head. So first thing we'll do is we'll pop the color a little bit just in the duck's head. We'll see what happens when I do that. You can see like it's getting this yellow in it, which mostly is unpleasant. It's quite unpleasant, but I did like it when it was down in here and along this edge here. So what I'm going to do now is find a way, right, to get that, get it happening there. So I'm going to alter the saturation a little bit. I've just repeated the layer, so I'm going to bring that up there, and then I'm going to, because I created the layer, I can now delete the bits that I don't like. So get rid of these bits of the duck that it's got too yellow, and leave in the bits that I like. So I not quite like that down there, and I like it there. So I can get rid of these here. Just have that kind of outer yellow glow on it, which is kind of nice. And do that, which is, yeah, I'm good with that, like that. I want to lighten the duck a little bit as well, so we'll go to here. We'll go to the dodge tool and we'll lighten it up a little bit. Make the brush a bit smaller. We'll go down to this layer. You can see me doing that there. You can see. So here's the image. We've got done all we're close now. I've got that background layer there, and this is the horrible layer, but the duck is kind of nice there. And this is the original. And turn the background layer on. I turn that on. You can see the difference that we've made. I quite like all of that. There's still a bit of too much of a glow there. So I'm going to go into that layer and maybe delete it a little bit more. And then we'll merge it. And I'm going to make a copy of that layer. And I'm going to merge all of those. So I'm going to Command Shift D. Just incidentally, to merge these, you actually have to have only the ones turned on that you want to merge, and then you'll keep the others. And you have to have one of them selected that's going to be merged. And Command Shift D will let me do that. And I've only got those two layers, and I can turn the whole thing off. This is my new unedited, and this is the edited version. And then I'm going to lighten off that duck's head now. I'm going to make some, use the dodge tool just to lighten it off just a little bit. And but I'm very close now. I quite like this image. I like what's going on. I really like that yellow underneath the head there. And I'm going to make the brush a bit bigger. I'm going to lighten the background off just a little bit. But now we're really talking about final things. And I'm going to try see what happens if I push the saturation just a bit more, just to be sure that I've got everything I can out of this. And I like it a bit better when I push it. We'll go to the Command B. Color balance, and we'll look at the highlights. I wonder if the highlights would be better, a bit more yellow. No, they won't. So yeah, I think we're good. That's good. I like that. We're there. That's done. So we've gone from that. We've gone from that to that. When I do that, I think maybe it's just a little bit too much. So it's always good to go back and check like that. And I'll just pull it back just a bit. So it's not quite so over the top. And there. I like it. We're good.